The perceived rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark is not saving the WNBA. It is not a bandage to the issues that the WNBA is having and has been having for years. Okay, the problem that the WNBA is having and that the players who play in this league are having is the lack of pay for their work, which is showing up every single day and being a professional athlete, which is what NBA players do. Okay, so whether you agree that WNBA players deserve to be paid more or not, it doesn't discount the fact that they are putting in the work that a professional athlete like an NBA player, an NFL player is putting in, and they are not seeing the return on their investment, okay, of their time and their effort in the form of their paycheck from the WNBA. The growth that women's sports are experiencing is incredible, but the reason that they aren't being paid what the men are being paid is because not as many people are putting their eyeballs on the games. Not as many people are buying tickets to see the games. Not as many TVs are on the games, okay? The reason for that is because marketing this perceived rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark might benefit Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark because the world knows who they are. The world is paying attention to what her story is saying and where she's going and what they're doing. None of that has anything to do with basketball, though. None of it. And so while that might make them household names and get them into a Gatorade commercial, which might line up their pockets, it doesn't make more people watch what else is going on in the league.
Literally, the only reason why people are tuning into Indiana games or Chicago games is the fact that they continue to market them. You have to have individuals and market them. It's the reason why you have brand deals. It's the reason why you have shoe deals. I mean, even to understand this, all you got to do is go back to the origins of what started to make the NBA profitable, and it was Magic versus Bird, right? It was Jordan and the Pistons. It was Kobe and the Lakers and San Antonio and all of these places. Like, even if you want to go into it, like, they really wanted a Kobe versus LeBron at some point, but it just never happened. And so, you know, when you seen the Dream Team, that is when the NBA really started taking off and things really started to pop off. But it's rivalries. It is the rivalries that then generate all of the revenue. It is the individuals that they market, the faces of the NBA. You're going to regularly see them say, who's the face of the NBA? I mean, aside from the fact that these women still want to be paid like men in the NBA, but they don't even have a profitable product. They've never had a profitable season in the NBA, in the WNBA ever. And she's saying that it's a lack of money. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a reason why people don't watch the games. It's not because they're not marketing it well, it's because it's not good. Have you seen Angel Reese play? It's crazy.
And for people to say that there's not an interest in non-Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark related storylines is absolutely false, because I was at the season opener New York Liberty game against the Las Vegas Aces, and it was all about basketball. And it was packed to the brim, and there were people buying merch, and there were people who paid for their tickets, and there were fans that were loud about players that you might have never heard of as a casual WNBA fan, as a sports fan who hears WNBA discourse. And that's because all morning, I watch sports television all morning. It's part of my morning routine, okay? Every show I had tuned into that covered the WNBA today talked about a Caitlyn Clark foul on Angel Reese, and then the post-game press conference that followed it.
The same way that they talked about LeBron James every single morning. As a matter of fact, I can remember Shannon Sharp with the GOAT mask. They talked about LeBron James. They talked about what LeBron James was going to do in the offseason. They talked about Michael Jordan. They talked about Magic. They talked about Bird. And this was even before the social media era. They talked about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown taking the next step towards what was success is going to be. Could they win a ring before they won a ring? They talk about Luka and the trade with Anthony Davis and what was going to happen during I go to these soccer games, right? And it's awesome. It's one of the best. Detroit City FC is one of the best events that I've ever been to in my entire life. And you're talking to a person that regularly has season tickets every single year, that sit courtside every single year. I spend over $100,000 a year for my tickets. I will tell you that the best games, and they are sold out regularly, is the Detroit City FC. It's the best games I've ever been to in my entire life. Been to basketball games, been to some hockey games, sat right there at the, on almost at the ice. Like, I don't know what they call it. They don't call it courtside, but like row one right of ice. There is no bad seats at hockey games. Um, been to the Actually, I've never been to an NFL game, and I'm still working on that. But I've been to a college football game, right? I will tell you that the soccer game, that intimate connection, was the best thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And the only reason that I went to that game was because it was cheap and it was marketed and it was word of mouth and it started popping. And so, the availability of tickets when things are so expensive for everything else also plays a role. There's so many different factors that play a role, but you have to have rivalries. You have to have a storyline. You have to have a reason why people buy into whatever it is that they're going to watch on a regular basis. People don't just go to games for the sake of going to games. They go to games because they have a connection. They have some kind of reason. My father was this is not me, but this is other people. My father was a Dallas Cowboys fan. He took me to the game, or I went and I seen this on my wall, or I heard LeBron James do this, or man, I hate them when they come into town. It's a reason why. It's not just based off of basketball. It's never that. No sport does not have a storyline. They want to know who's gonna win the next year, or are you gonna dethrone him, and all of this other stuff. And did you join your enemies? And can they get over the hump? Oh man, that's a super team, and they really do. They the Heatles, but they really do. You have to have storylines. Storylines is the marketing blood that then runs through whatever league that allows for them to be incredibly successful. And you can only get paid based off of how successful the league is itself.
What a lot of people are understanding about this rivalry between Angel and Caitlyn, that this isn't a rivalry between two players, okay? Those are women that have been playing against each other at a high level since the 8th grade. And to be quite frank with you, Angel Reese has been winning that battle all along, which is part of the reason why it has this interesting
She ain't winning it now.
villain narrative, because Caitlyn, in my opinion, objectively is the better player, right? They play two different positions, but she's the better player. But Angel has been the winner and the one who gets the last laugh every single time. And so it's frustrating to watch this great hope for women's basketball lose and lose to this villain that brags and is brash and arrogant, right? Now that this rivalry is translating into a professional setting where these players are playing two completely separate roles. Angel is on a team, the Chicago Sky, that have won a championship in this decade with a veteran-led roster. So now they're rebuilding, right? They draft Angel high up and they draft Camila Cardoso high up in hopes to rebuild back to a championship sort of situation with a brand new coaching staff, putting their star Angel Reese in a position to be a more versatile point forward type of player that we haven't seen her be before. It's new to her. It's a new era for the entire Chicago Sky franchise, whereas the Indiana Fever had the number 1 overall draft pick right before Caitlyn. And so now they're like, okay, number one pick. We want to be in a position to win now. Made the offseason moves that were necessary to put Caitlyn and Aaliyah Boston in a situation to contend for a championship now, in the next couple of years, okay? The Chicago Sky are not in that situation. So every time we see this rivalry, right, this year play out, we're going to see the Indiana Fever, a championship-built team, play against a rebuilding team and be like, wow, this rivalry kind of fucking sucks. So now we're in a situation where we're leaning on this rivalry to get people to watch the games, but when they tune into the games, all they're seeing is a blowout. And all they have to cling on to is, hey, that flagrant foul was a little rough, and look at how that girl responded, and let's look at the post game and see what they're saying, and stuff that has nothing to do with basketball, because who the fuck cares about a blowout between a rebuilding team and a team that's built to contend right now? So then the narrative goes away from basketball again. And what does that do in turn for the problem at hand? Getting more people to watch the actual basketball? Nothing. I keep seeing this getting compared to Bird and Magic. These aren't two championship contending teams playing against each other constantly for high stakes situations.
And neither was Jordan when he came into the league. But he took over the league. It's just the facts. And when Kobe came into the league, Kobe Bryant was, a lot of people don't even remember this because maybe y'all wasn't outside at the time and y'all only watch highlights. Shout out to House Highlights. Kobe Bryant was considered, like, he was a great player, or he was considered what was to be a great player, but during his rookie season, Kobe Bryant was not it. He was not it whatsoever. Let me hear the rest of what she got to say.
They're playing for the court of public opinion at this point. And it's kind of putting Angel Reese at a loss where she can't win. right? Because she's in a new position in order to help her team win, which is what she got called out for last year, double fishing. Because if she's not putting up the stats, y'all are gonna say, "Oh, she can't play. She's not Caitlyn Clark. She's not that
She
girl."
still can't
whatever.
play.
But if she is playing the role she's getting asked to, that might not show up as much on the stat sheet right now. That could help her be in a position to win a championship in the future. She's gonna get made fed of anyways, and then she's losing on national television.
She be getting me bounds, not rebounds. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Do you think that this rivalry actually helps the WNBA? I can't believe I'm even talking about the WNBA. It's been so. Do y'all think that the rivalry actually helps the WNBA, or do you think that the league should market itself more just for the games? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Peace.